Welcome to another episode of Day Sports. If you're listening to this today, Happy New Year. This one I didn't think I was going to be recording, but look, without the cricket on, now that the 5 days test is finished, the Boxing Day test is all done, I'm sitting around with not a whole lot to do and I'm bursting at the seams to talk about the cricket that's been happening over the last few days. So a little bit lost in my life without that, to be completely honest, but my girlfriend has copped an absolute ear bashing over the last few days, me chatting about cricket, trying to explain what's going on. Slash just hasn't seen me at all, so yeah, needed to get this one out here and thought it'd be good to start off the year with a podcast episode, a little treat for you guys. So if you are watching this, make sure you do like, subscribe, follow on all the social media. I'll link all that in the bio as well. I appreciate all the support throughout 2024. If you are watching this one today, looking for the usual rugby league chat, I must say this one might not be for you unless you're into cricket, because there's no rugby league chat to be had in this. It has been very quiet the last few weeks. Anything that I did want to talk about was kind of happening last week, and didn't really want to chat about transfers and like whatever else. So catch me next week, I guess, if you just want the rugby league chat. There will be none of it, like I said. So, and if you stick around, even better yet. But yeah, no, that's just a little heads up. Like I was saying, cricket has been going on. It has been better than Lego, loving it so much. Blokes and girls all around the nation have been glued to the TV after we've had one of the best Boxing Day test match series we've seen in many, many, many years. And some say they want to get rid of the fifth day. Fuck that right off. We do not need that. So nothing better than being on the holidays with not a whole lot on. Because sometimes you go on holidays, whether it's overseas, interstate, whatever it might be, and you're just flat out. You never really get a good chance to just fully switch off. Sometimes you go on those holidays, you relax, it's all great, whatever you might be doing, but you get back and you almost need a holiday from the holiday just to recoup and get back into it. So it is nice sometimes just to sit down and have nowhere to be whatsoever. Very little, if no, responsibilities. And I know that is not for everyone with their holidays, whether it's kids, pets, this, that, everything else. Some people do have a lot on, but it's nice when you got nothing at all. So yeah, being able to just park up on the couch, do the square root of fuck all, have the test match on in the living room, either parked up in front of it, in the pool, wherever it might be. It was just great. And my diet for this holiday season, so it has been atrocious. I've been eating just about anything come in front of me. I'd hate to step on the scales and see how much weight I've put on. I don't think it's anything too ridiculous, but the amount of piss consumed compared to my regular diet is ridiculous. I've randomly picked up a taste for gold, the old 4X. I would always drink them. Don't get me wrong. Beer's a beer to me, but the old man, he had many, many cartons of golds laying around over the holiday period, and I've just acquired the taste for gold. So that's always a fun time. So I might have to, get around those a little bit more. But yeah, the diet has been hurting me, that's for sure. Now, day one, so Boxing Day, what was that, last Thursday, I think it was. So I had a few of my mates all coming over from a social sporting team. Haven't seen them in a couple months, been busy and all that sort of stuff. So race off to the shops, grab all the food, try to get everything sorted before that, try to get it all done before the game kicked off Thursday morning. And look, it was one of the most entertaining starts to a test match I think I've ever seen as well. Sam Konstas was cooking. He was all over India in that first innings there. Now, I didn't think he was going to get a whole lot of runs. Prior to that, I was kind of death riding him a little bit. With Nathan McSweeney getting dropped, I thought that he deserved a little bit more of an opportunity. I thought that Konstas coming up against Bumrah was just going to be too much. But no, it wasn't too much for old Sammy. The 19-year-old was ramp shotting, arguably the best bowler in the world, for 6 in multiple times in the one over, just took him to town. It was ridiculous. He was rattling and living rent-free in Virat Kohli's head pretty much the entire test match, but you can see how much that he was having head noise about Sam Konstas with those overs against Bumrah. He literally thought he was prime Sonny Bill Williams charging in off the pitch to drop the shoulder into poor Sammy. The young fellow as well, I'm pretty sure, looked up to Virat and you got him shoulder charging you because you've rattled him so bad. It was just hilarious to see. And then you had bloody Uzi there trying to be like, boys, calm down. But how good to see the young fella go through and raise his bat in his debut. While I might have doubted him, I'll openly admit it, I was ecstatic. I was fucking leaping off the seat watching those couple of overs there where he was just sending them all over the place. He was on track to make 100 off 100. Like, he was just batting with that type of aggression and just threw India so far off their game, it wasn't even funny. And from that, I think the boys really built on that. Uzi, he didn't need to stress out as much. He hasn't had maybe his best series so far, but when you've got some guy charging the quicks down the other end, they're not really thinking too much about you and the game plan to get him out. They're just stressing about, holy shit, what has happened here? And the 50s, they just started flowing left, right and centre after that. So Uzi, he got 50, Marnus, he got some well-needed runs, and Paddy, he nearly got there as well. So close if it wasn't for just a stupid shot. But I reckon Cummins has, really pretty much turned into an all-rounder at this point. How many times has he gone in with the bat, made good runs or really vital runs, or stuck around, as somebody that's looking to make 100 with Smith, with whoever else he might be in there with. He has just been amazing. So no wonder he got the player of the match again. It was just ridiculous. So Smudge, he turns up again. He has found his hands, found his feet. He's found something there. I think that takes him to something like 34 career hundreds. But yeah, Smudge, taking him to 34 career centuries. Again, I think I've mentioned it. I don't think he's ever going to get up around Ponting, but it is unreal. He's, I think, about 34, whatever age he might be. So much controversy around him in the last, couple series, the last few years, I guess, with him maybe not performing, to his absolute highest standard. But for him to go out there and get it done, it's just so good to see. You just love to see it. He would be stoked, and, that would lock him in for a very, very long time. Not that Smith is ever going to be getting dropped. That would take a lot, but yeah, no, that's great. But it was awesome. And then we went out there, tried to get all the Indians out, and I think it started off pretty well. Just while he got a few runs on their board in the first innings, and it looked like we're going to run through them with no worries there, honestly. I thought we're just going to smash through business as usual. Sam Konstas, he had the crowd going. He's just a proper champ. He acts and, carries on out on the field like he's been like he's been well on this team for years now. You would never think he's on debut the way that he's kind of carrying on and, just having a bit of fun out there. He just seems so comfortable and confident out there. So that's awesome. It looks like he's been a mainstay in the team for years. Like, he's just not fazed by anything at all. But yeah, I thought things were going really well in the first innings that were bowling against them. But that's when Nitesh Kumar Reddy, he came out and kind of flipped everything on its head and wrestled everything way back in India's favour. You got to give the flowers to the young fella, putting India on his back with the bat. So you got Boomer at the ball and Reddy with the bat, getting his maiden ton in front of his dad while he was in the crowd. That was some emotional stuff. So hats off to him. He did really well. Without him, they were gone, that's for sure. Few other, I guess, run scorers in there, but yeah, it was really Reddy. It was his day, his time. So, and yeah, like I said, really wrestled the competition back, probably more so even potentially in India's favour. It was something where we're like, oh, this should have been a lot easier, and they stuck around way longer than they should have. We come back out to bat, and again, Boomer, he is just not human, destroying the Aussies in the second innings outside of the handy runs that Marnus got. And I think Marnus, the runs that he's made over the last few games, into the 50s, hasn't quite cracked a ton like I think he would, like I thought he would have. I can see that happening in Sydney, but I really think he has saved any potential speculation about his position in the team. He went through quite a dry spell, really not having the greatest performances of his life, and even in this series, but he's gone out, scored vital runs, getting 50s, doing what he needs to do. So he did well. Paddy again, scoring, quite well, sticking around there. And then Nathan Lyon, the GOAT, nearly getting 50. I reckon, what did he get out on? About 41. They just about have to be his all-time high score. He and Scotty Boland got so many good runs there towards the ends. They just stuck in there. If he got the 50, the crowd would have fucking lost it. Even on that day 5, if he had continued batting through there, it just would have been ridiculous. But again, without Bumrah, I think it'd be 4-0 to the Aussies. He is just ridiculous. Every single time we seem to, like I think was it the second innings or whatever it might have been, we stuck in for, a good period of time. Things were starting to look pretty positive for us. He gets, I think 2 wickets in an over or whatever, or within a very short amount of time, he picks up like 2 or 3 and the whole game just gets flipped on its head. He did dirty things to Travis Head with the ball, but it's just one of those things. You can't always score the ton. Luckily, this time around, I guess a lot of pressure was taken off Travis Head. All the other batsmen, they stood up big time. So, yeah, Head can actually have a rest for once in his life. And then Jaswal and Rishabh Pant, they got in there in that second innings for India, and That had me a little bit worried. Those were flashbacks to the Gabba years. I wasn't so worried that they were, going to chase down the run total. I guess they could have potentially, but that is the one thing. As much as I love the matches between India and Australia, they just don't seem to go for it. Maybe outside of that, Gabba one, but even then, I was only chasing down, 100 and whatever it might have been. Something that was quite achievable. But every other time, they just seem to sit back and just go, whatever. Like, we'll just play for the draw. I guess at the moment they retain the trophy. If it is a draw in the series, but that would be my knock on them. They just don't tend to have a crack sometimes. Like Australia will try to bowl you out or chase runs. They generally, from what I see, don't really try to go for the draw, but it's just one of those things. But they stuck around for a little bit too long, and it was starting to look like it was heading towards a draw. It was starting to get a little bit sad there, but, if T-Head can't do it with the bat, he's going to do it with the ball. That finger, put it in the ice, put the finger in the ice, Travis Head, because he has that thing absolutely ripping with the finger spin, too hot to handle, and I think it might have been Mitchy Marsh that took the catch out in the deep. That was another all time, and that just, again, changed the momentum of the game. Speaking of Mitch Marsh, you got to be thinking his spot could be up for contention even for this final game, which I wouldn't like to see. I love the Bison, but when you haven't scored the runs and you're not getting the wickets. Now, to be fair with the wickets, they're not really giving him a whole lot of opportunity with the bowling. He kind of comes in, I guess, when the others need a little bit of a spell, but not really picking up the wickets. But he has picked up some spectacular catches, and catches win matches. We all know that. So props to Mitchy Marsh, and he's taken some screamers as well. So without him out there, you never know. It might not have got those wickets. So a little bit tricky with that. I think he should stay in the side. Yes, he's been kind of up and down, but so have a lot of the other players. Give him the opportunity. He seems to do just amazing things in the change room. Like, without him, the culture just seems to be completely different. All the players seem to really, really love him around. So I'd be surprised if they got rid of him for this last one. I guess, maybe after Sri Lanka and whatever else, we can discuss then, see what selections are like. But I think at the moment, just leave the team as it is. It seems to be working, and just kind of go from there. But yeah, the momentum really, really changed after that. And then Scotty Boland, Nathan Lyon, they really took after them again after that. They just got digging into the tail, got a few more wickets there, and it started going from it's looking like a draw to, okay, now we need quite a few more wickets. There's not really a ton of time to go. We've got the new ball on the way, but you don't want to be trying to get 6 wickets, 5-6 wickets, whatever it might have been at that stage with 12 overs to go. Yes, doable, especially with the bowling attack that we've got. Starkey with the new ball could just destroy a team, but yeah, wasn't looking great. And then it's gone, we're in for a chance here, and then it comes down to the last few and you're feeling good. Everyone was at the edge of their seat. One thing that I loved in the punters and dribblers page, old Roasty, he was posting just every single time there was a wicket out, just updating everyone on it, and it was bloody hilarious. But it reminds me of a couple of the ones back in the day with Michael Clark bowling and all that, or different spinners where they just crowd the batsman just with that kind of like horseshoe shape. All this fields up, everyone's around, and then it's Gary. He comes through with the LBW and finishes it all off. And the celebration of photos are just some of the best I've ever seen in sporting. I'll pop it up on the screen. Like, that photo right there is just spectacular. Love to see it. So it was an amazing test match, and I know this is a lot of cricket chat, more of a recap of everything at least that I've picked up and enjoyed throughout that series. And not going to lie, I am missing the footy season, but now that it is the new year, it is going to roll around really, really quickly, and we're just going to be balls deep in footy chat again. But in the meantime, look, cricket is king. It's the summer of cricket, so here we are. Again, we'll be back next week. Hope you've enjoyed the New Year's Eve. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of sore heads out there, that's for sure. I'm probably going to be so bounced out. That's probably why I've recorded the day before. No way I'd get this done tomorrow with editing and everything. But again, hope everyone is well. Catch us all next week and enjoy the cricket. See you later.